Every night is the Rangers Journal night.
Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this. You are watching the Rangers Journal. This is the Lowdown, and my name is Doug. Tonight we're going to be looking at the lowdown on our upcoming Europa League opponents, Union Saint-Gilloise, a team that we have played in recent years, and the Champions League qualifiers to two legs that were pretty different games. The first one we were pretty poor in, a bad performance away to the Belgian side, resulting in a 2-0 loss. But luckily, at the return leg in Ibrox, we played much more the way that we can normally in Europe and came away with a 3-0 victory, which put us through to the next round, which I believe was against PSV for qualifying. This time around, sees the teams both coming into this match in decent form. Both have won 4 out of the last 5 matches. Our only loss was to Man United, 2-1 recently in our last Europa League game. But coming off the back of a good away victory to Dundee United, getting that sort of away monkey off our back for a little bit. Did start off looking like it might be the same kind of game when Dundee went ahead, but a much improved second half performance saw us in control and running out 3-1 winners. Unions have been doing quite well in their leagues. They're sitting, I think, around about 3rd or 4th currently in the Belgian Pro League. They're coming off the back of a 4-0 win against bottom team Beerschot, and as well as some decent results in other games in their league. Their last loss was to Wilson Antwerp, another one of the strong Belgian sides, where they lost 5-1. All in, though, looking at our positions in the Europa League, we are sitting in very similar positions. Rangers currently 13th, Union currently 15th. Both teams with having played 7 games. We've both won 3, lost 2, and drawn 2, and we are above them by virtue of our superior goal difference, as we both set 11 points. So going into this match, both teams with a win can look to see themselves potentially qualifying higher in the qualifying section, thus getting a better draw for the knockout round. There are permutations that would allow Rangers to qualify in the top 8, thusly bypassing the knockout round completely. However, that would require, I think, around about 5 to 8 matches to all go in our favour. So an unlikely turn, not impossible, but part 1 would be winning this match, which I think we can go into the game confident. It is obviously at home, and at Ibrox on a Thursday night, we do tend to pull out some of our best performances. But that's not to say that this is a gimme by any means. Union have been playing well in the Europa League. They started off poorly with only, I think, a point from the first 2 or 3 matches. And more recent matches have really picked up their form and had some good results against some quality teams, including the likes of Braga, who we've obviously met at various rounds of the Europa League before. Looking at what to expect, they do play a sort of a 3-5-2 kind of formation, but that has been 3-4-3 and has some other variations as well. They do seem to adapt their formation a little bit depending on their opposition and who's available. They do have some suspensions and injuries for this game, which will see them without some of their best defenders. But despite that, let's see them with players to come in, such as McAllister, who's a relation of the more famous Liverpool player. They do play a sort of a clear attacking system, though. It's kind of familiar to a number of teams we've seen with width from their wing backs with a back 3, and they have an aggressive high press and look to force high transitions on the ball to make their chances. And they tend to focus more their attack down their left-hand side with their players on the left and then on the right. But as I've said many times, with teams of this type, there are spaces to be found in their defence. If you can get behind that line, they do play a defensive high line as well, which allows them to both push for breaking crosses for their players who are good in the air, but also leaves the space for us to pass by, again, bypassing those wingers, get balls in ourselves. As I say, they've got players suspended, which includes 2 of their centre-backs. That will affect their level of physicality, unless they are 2 of their stronger ones, in particular 1 of their starting players. But they also allow a lot of chances, especially cutback style chances. So if we can get our wingers to the edge of the box, not something we've always been the best at. but Jeffrey can do it. He did it to great effect with Danilo in some games earlier in the season. So if players like Hete or Cherney with their runs, Tavernier as well, can get to the byline and cut balls back, then I think we will get joy from those kind of opportunities based on the games that they've been playing up until now. Into their danger men, I could have highlighted either of their strikers, as they both have kind of similar numbers in terms of a decent amount of goals and assists. But their main striker, without a doubt, is Franko Ivanovic. He has 9 goals in the Belgian Pro League thus far, 2 assists. That's from 17 matches. Pass accuracy as well, 74%. He can involve himself in play as well as just the goals. He's strong, he's quick, and he can win headers. He's created 21 chances for the team in addition to the goals that he scored, and he will be a danger to the Rangers' defence, particularly in the shape that it's going to be in. Other than the second striker, though, I've also highlighted their sort of central midfielder, Charles Van Hout. They've got a couple of decent players in the midfield, including a young player coming through, but Van Hout is probably their main operator in there. No goals, but 3 assists for himself thus far from 22 matches. He's created 28 chances for the team and successful dribbles of 69%. He can carry the ball well, particularly from those turnovers, and will be a player who will also look to win the ball to pass through to players like Ivanovic. In terms of the Rangers lineup, the big concern is the defence. We are struggling with defence right now with players out. Suter is still injured, although does appear to have returned to training. As far as I'm aware, Sterling is still injured. Balogun, I'm not sure of his status at the moment, but obviously he could, if he is coming in, it will be straight from an injury. Fernandez, who we've brought in, and Nsiala, who has been playing well, neither are registered for the European squad, so aren't available. So it really only leaves us with Robin Proper as our only main defender. We do have King on the bench who could potentially play, but he doesn't seem to be a player that Clement particularly is in favour for. So we may well see James Tavernier moved back in to play central defence again, as he did in the second half against Man United, which he did to good effect. So I've got him in there, largely for his experience, and having an experienced player in there, I think will be important. And therefore, I think he's likely to bring in Yilmaz on the right hand side. You have to continue on the left. A lot of people are a bit tired, I think, of Yilmaz on the right hand side. He has been very consistent there. But again, we're not sort of blessed with options. You could pull Barron into that position again. King could play there if you wanted to, but I feel Clement tends to go with his tried and tested. We'll probably play Yilmaz there regardless, ahead of the other options. Midfield, I think the centre two have to pick themselves in terms of Raskin and Diomande, both playing well this season. Diomande had a really good game in the Dundee United match up until his ludicrous red card, which has happily been rescinded. And of course, Raskin has been one of the best players of the season thus far. I stuck with Barami in the 10, again, due to other options like Hadji, Danilo not being available due to not being in the European squad. I think we continue with Barami, although he's not been having the best of times. I picked him as a danger man to hopefully come into the game against Dundee United. He didn't really do that, although he was involved in 2 of the goals. So he does have a little bit of a head of play, but I think we can get more from him. In the European games, Champion games, he's shined a little bit more, so hopefully he can do that in this match. Cherney, we don't know at the moment whether he's fit, so I've still marked him as not fit. And I'm not really sure what the status with Matondo is. He's obviously been getting linked a lot with players lately and hasn't been appearing on the bench, so I'm not sure what we'll see from him. Therefore, I've gone with Egerman out on the left-hand side, playing Dessers ahead up front. Dessers had a really good game against United, obviously, scoring that excellent goal, and he got another excellent goal against Dundee United, so I think we'll bring him in and hopefully he continues that hot streak. And then on the right-hand side, I feel like we maybe could take the chance and bring in Cortez. He's been on the bench a couple of times, but without coming on. So maybe it's the time to put him in and give him a chance to try and start making a name for himself in terms of his Rangers career, which he's not really been able to do so thus far. If it's not going to be him, then you've got the options of McCausland or Lovelace who can come on. McCausland probably will be the most likely, but you could also potentially play something like Egerman on the right hand side, Barami on the left, and bring Rice in if you wanted to maybe play Diamandi further up. So there are some options there. Not 100% sure what Clement's going to go with, but that's the team that I've picked for now. In terms of a game changer, I'm going to go with the captain, James Tavernier, for this match. If he plays the centre back, then it will be really important that he plays well. The captain does have a history of playing well, obviously in the Europa League, and getting the team through matches. The last time we played Union St. Gilloise, he was important in the game and scored a goal, and the turnaround when we won. And obviously, he does have a knack of scoring big European goals. Even at centre back versus Man United, he was still getting himself forward, still getting himself in the box, and looking to make things happen for the club. It's something that I think is undervalued in Tavernier's play. The way that he is always pushing forward, always looking to get the team moving up the park and get the ball moving up the park to make chances and score goals. He's obviously not been at his best this season with a period out, a period of injury. But despite that, still has 3 goals, still 9 assists, which is the most in the squad, and top 5 in the league. 79% pass accuracy. He's created 44 chances, still a massive chance creator for the squad. 72% in tackles, 63% with his aerial duels. So hopefully he can keep that up if he's going to play again in the centre back. He will face aerial threat from ESG. 23 interceptions and 88 recoveries from him in a defensive format. While there is the punch up to make the occasional mistake that can lead to goals from the right back position, his overall defensive play is still reasonably good. And it's more we've seen again more tends to be when it's sort of really young, pacey wingers that are the difficulty for him, which is fair enough. I think given his age, it's something that we just need to work with as we go through the season. Similar to Kyle Walker, he's also starting, I feel, to lose a little bit of a yard to his pace, and similarly as finding himself coming up against younger, quicker players who are starting to get the edge on him, where previously he would have easily kept them out. Those are my predictions for this match. I'm going to say 2-1 to Rangers. I think it'll be a tight game. A lot of Union's games have been fairly tight, where they've managed to edge points. But I think at Ibrox with the crowd behind us, we've got that edge that will help us see us through. Would love to see an even more comfortable performance, but as I say, both teams have something to fight for if they can get a win tonight. So I think it'll be a close game. I'm going to say 2-1. I was close with my prediction for the Dundee United game. I said 3-0, ended 3-1. So right result, but wrong score for that one. We'll see how this one pans out. So that's everything for the Lowdown. So say thank you for watching and taking the time to be with us at the Rangers Journal. For this, we'll have another Lowdown for the next match coming up. So let's hope the guys can go and get a good result against USG. I'm confident that they can do that. It is a team that, although won't be an easy game by any means, it is a team I think we can and should be looking to beat, particularly as it's a home game. So let's hope for another great European night at Ibrox. And just leaves me to say thank you for watching, and every night is a Rangers Journal night. Goodbye.